What's it like hearing people say all these really nice things?
It's very validating. A lot of hard work has gone into this film, but so much love, truly, speaking for myself and also for the filmmakers behind it, just so much love for the storytelling and for bringing something that means so much to so many people and bringing it to the modern age is really so special.
They say all you have to do to make your wish come true is let it echo, 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 echo.
There are Hollywood mistakes, and then there are career-ending catastrophes. And Rachel Zegler, she's rapidly becoming the textbook definition of both. According to bombshell reports sweeping through the industry, Steven Spielberg, the legend, who once gave her a golden ticket to stardom, has allegedly blacklisted her after exposing every horrifying thing she pulled behind the scenes of West Side Story. Insiders say the disappointment wasn't just personal, it was professional.
I sat through the whole thing. This was really bad. It was extremely leftist on every political dimension. Racial politics, sexual politics, class politics, regime politics. Its narrative was cowardly. It was just awful.
The new Disney boss babe, who is Rachel Zegler, the inverse of...
It's got extra musical numbers that are incredibly unnecessary that really add to that runtime. And let me go ahead and let you know that they're absolutely atrocious.
Spielberg trusted her with a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and she allegedly threw it all away with arrogance, entitlement, and flat-out disrespect. And if you thought Rachel's public downfall after the Snow White disaster was brutal, just wait until you hear what insiders claim. Spielberg has been saying about her now. This isn't just bad press. This isn't just a bad year. This is a full-blown exile, a career implosion happening in real time.
Controversy in Snow White. The dwarves have been eliminated in the live action.
Yeah.
Now it's Snow White and the 7 magical beings.
Wait, it's 7 and the magical beings.
Yeah,
They won't even say
magical
and the 7
beings.
dwarves.
No, because they're not dwarves. For right now, that's the only jobs that are there.
It's awful, generic. Never mind that the lyrics make no sense at all. All you have to do to make your dream come true is let it echo. Is it like on a metaphor?
Have they ever thought about maybe like a little bit of like, I don't know, vulnerability study, opposition research, that sort of thing before you go and hire some Zoomer who's a lunatic?
And once Spielberg closes a door, it stays closed forever. It all started quietly. Back when Spielberg first handpicked Rachel Zegler to headline his massive West Side Story remake, insiders say there was genuine excitement. She was young, talented, and seemingly grateful for the opportunity. People thought she might be the next big thing, someone who could bridge the old Hollywood style with new generation charisma. But as cameras rolled, something ugly allegedly started creeping in. Sources close to the production revealed that Rachel became a nightmare to work with, difficult to direct, argumentative over creative choices.
I wanted my money back. It was very disappointing.
They spent $170 million to make the thing, and it had the lowest opening, under $50 million, of any of these live-action Disney remakes that they've ever had.
Remaking the movie, they just got rid of the dwarves, but they have one token dwarf amongst these magical creatures. You actually just went backwards. You actually just erased the dwarfism side of it, the disability, like we're a disability group, you just erase that whole.
Talking back to veteran crew members, acting like she knew better than one of the greatest directors in film history. Spielberg, known for running tight, respectful sets, was allegedly stunned at how quickly Rachel's attitude shifted from grateful newcomer to unbearable diva. It wasn't just a one-time outburst. Insiders say it was a pattern. Constant questioning, side eyes at Spielberg's direction, even outright laughter at some of his suggestions. And for a man who's directed everyone from Tom Hanks to Meryl Streep, that kind of disrespect was unheard of.
Broke out with this news, and I'm very, very, very excited and looking forward.
Doing catastrophically. They spent $300 million, and it currently has a 2.2 out of 10 rating on IMDb.
The movie has a major identity crisis.
Lines that they say, like magic mirror on the wall. It was a lot of fun.
And you know the saying, go woke, get broke, and Disney's going to lose money on this movie, and I believe it only made less than $1 million.
The whispers on set grew louder. Crew members allegedly dreaded her scenes. Some even started calling her the princess behind her back, not out of admiration, but mockery. And things didn't stay, contained behind closed doors for long. As filming dragged on, Spielberg's patience reportedly wore thinner by the day. According to insiders, he didn't immediately snap. He tried mentoring Rachel, coaching her, giving her the benefit of the doubt because, at the end of the day, he had believed in her. But it didn't matter. she allegedly refused to take.
There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Weird.
Disney deleted Someday My Prince Will Come and made a modernized feminist alternative.
So apparently, according to them and according to the writers of Snow White, women can't even want to be in love anymore.
So she comes off as an insufferable, whiny brat.
Notes: dismissed advice as old school, even started suggesting that West Side Story should have been modernized to fit her personal tastes. Some insiders claim Spielberg felt blindsided, realizing too late that the young actress he championed saw herself not as a student of cinema, but as a revolutionary who thought she could rewrite it. It got so bad that Spielberg allegedly started warning his inner circle about her. Quiet, back-channel conversations, text messages, producer dinner table whispers. Word started spreading. Rachel Zegler was not the rising star they once thought.
Nobody wants a movie about true love? What kind of woman do we want out there seeking true love, Eliana? It's the outrage.
Last week was a very big week, objectively a huge week. We had quite a few announcements. It's first live action film, which is Snow White and the Evil Queen. And that's me, I'm Snow White, which is so funny.
Rachel Zegler, like so many kids raised on TikTok, she's all for infantata is the only global solution. This is just so typical of the left. The progressives always finding a way to find their way back to doing something not progressive.
But a major liability nobody wanted to touch. By the time the film premiered, Spielberg had allegedly made up his mind. There would be no second collaboration, no future projects, no quiet forgiveness. And now, those whispers have exploded into full-blown industry gossip. Producers don't even bother hiding it anymore. Rachel's name is becoming Hollywood poison. And Spielberg, allegedly nodding behind the scenes, knowing he tried to warn them all. After the disaster that unfolded during West Side Story, Spielberg didn't have to blast Rachel publicly. He didn't need to. According to Hollywood insiders, his silence spoke louder than any statement ever could. The man who once praised, heard during award shows, gone. The director who once spoke glowingly about her talent, completely silent. And in Hollywood, silence from a giant like Spielberg doesn't mean forgiveness. It means death. Studio heads listen when Spielberg talks. They listen even harder when he doesn't. And when the man behind E.T., Jurassic Park, and Schindler's List allegedly tells you, through whispers, through body language, through back channel, warnings, that a rising actress is not worth the trouble, you don't just listen, you act. Rumors are swirling that multiple studios have now quietly pulled back from projects connected to Zegler. Scripts she was once circling, dead. Lead roles she was once promised, ghosted. Auditions canceled. Casting calls mysteriously. On hold. Her team allegedly scrambling behind the scenes. Frantic meetings with PR consultants. Desperate phone calls to casting agents. Trying to slap together image rehabilitation plans before the blacklist fully calcified. But Hollywood isn't known for giving second chances when Spielberg is the one leading the silent campaign, and the worst was still waiting just around the corner. If Rachel had any hope of salvaging her career, any chance of convincing the public she was more than a Hollywood cautionary tale, it went up in flames with Snow White. The live-action remake wasn't just a box office flop. It was a historic, humiliating embarrassment. Disney poured an eye-watering $270 million into the project, only to claw back a pathetic $194 million worldwide. In an era when any brand recognition should guarantee at least mild success, Snow White became a laughingstock. And Rachel, she wasn't just part of the problem, she was the problem. From mocking the original movie during interviews to sneering at beloved characters like Prince Charming, Rachel alienated the very people Disney needed most. Loyal fans who grew up with the story she was now spitting on. Every soundbite, every dismissive comment became ammunition for the backlash. It wasn't just bad PR, it was public annihilation. Memes mocking her flooded the internet. TikTokers ruthlessly edited her Snow White comments next to box office disaster. Headlines: YouTubers ripped apart her interviews frame by frame. And as the mockery reached a fever pitch, Spielberg's alleged warnings about Rachel Zegler stopped sounding like industry gossip and started sounding like prophecy. He saw the train wreck coming before anyone else. And now the whole world could see it too. Disney, already bleeding from a series of flops, went into full-on panic mode behind the scenes. According to insiders, emergency meetings were called within days of the Snow White premiere. Executives demanded answers. Who signed off on Rachel's casting? Why were her interview comments so arrogant and alienating? Why wasn't anyone reining her in before the disaster was baked into the marketing? The blame game got ugly. Fingers pointed at casting directors, at marketing heads, at PR managers who had assured everyone that Rachel would connect with a new generation. But she didn't connect. She detonated. Suddenly, Rachel wasn't just a failed actress. She was a symbol, a walking, talking cautionary tale about what happens when studios let unchecked ego and poor judgment hijack a $270 million production. Studios began slashing budgets, reworking upcoming projects. Rumors even suggest Disney quietly shelved or delayed other planned live-action remakes, terrified of sparking another social media-driven boycott. Directors started whispering that they couldn't take the risk of working with her. Producers quietly scrubbed her name from shortlists. Future projects that once looked like sure things, now permanently frozen. Behind the scenes, Zegler's name didn't just become a warning, it became poison. No one wanted to be the next studio executive responsible for a Rachel Zegler-level disaster. And if Spielberg's alleged blacklisting started the quiet exile, Snow White finished the job. The fallout didn't stop at the studio gates. It never does. Not when the damage is this bad, not when the humiliation is this public. Insiders whisper that Rachel's team, agents, managers, publicists, have been scrambling to save what's left of her brand. Crisis meetings, emergency PR campaigns, half-hearted social media apologies. But every time they try to pivot, every time they think they're making progress, another scandal erupts and burns it all back to the ground. Rachel can't catch a break. And worse, she can't stop making it worse for herself. Late-night talk shows roast her nightly. Monologues mock her arrogance. YouTube channels dissect her every misstep with brutal precision, from mocking the original Snow White, to throwing shade at her co-stars, to fumbling apologies that only dig the hole deeper. Former castmates who once posted photos hugging her at premieres, silent now. Eerily silent, refusing to comment, ghosting questions about her during interviews. When Hollywood smells weakness, it moves fast, and no one wants to get dragged down with a sinking ship. And it gets even more brutal. Sources say Spielberg, the very man who once lifted Rachel onto the world stage, has allegedly made it known, quietly but firmly, that he would never work with her again, never recommend her again. Never take another meeting about a project she's attached to. In Hollywood, Spielberg isn't just a respected name, he's an institution. If he closes his Rolodex on you, you don't just lose a job, you lose a career. And if Spielberg isn't in your corner, you might as well start packing your bags. Rachel Zegler once stood on the brink of superstardom. Handpicked by Spielberg, celebrated by Disney, poised to become a household name. But ego, arrogance, and a spectacular lack of self-awareness blew it all to pieces. Now, she's not the next great leading lady. She's a cautionary tale whispered about in studio meetings, an example of what happens when opportunity meets entitlement. And if the rumors are true, if Spielberg really did blacklist her, Rachel Zegler isn't just canceled, she's finished. Hollywood doesn't hand out second chances to the ones who burn bridges with legends, especially when those legends are still powerful enough to slam every door in your face.